What's up, guys? Back in the shop today. Just in case I can't record anything for what's being delivered here to the farm in a few minutes here, I'm recording this just to tell you that it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's a little different to the usual content. I know I said that in the last video about the 1166, but this is a little bit different than our usual content, but it's kind of the same in a way. It's a project, and that's what this channel is about, is projects, such as this project behind me here. That's not what this is about. This is an off-camera project for a customer, but a pretty interesting one coming in with a potentially pretty interesting failure that we'll see. Let's jump into the video and show you guys what we got.
That's like 8th inch on
He's going under to take the rear after treatment bolt off back there. We just took that one out, and that one is going to be the one we take out while it's on the forks. We're going to bring another forklift in here from back here with a long set of tongs and just kind of cradle this after treatment system with it. Drop down. You ready? Holding. That's a lot of metal, like. That's a lot of metal. Dang. It's like chunks down there. Sus. Yeah, I don't know. So right now, I'm trying to pull this piston right here because, as you saw in the video, it has a lot of up and down play. That metal was not a good sign, so he's taking the pickup off right now, and possibly there might be a windage tray down there too. And we're gonna get this thing out and take a look at the damage.
Do they have markings on these, do you think?
Markings, like for a cylinder?
For the caps to go back on.
They're probably cracked, like fractured style.
Probably not even gonna be able to use them.
Probably not. But I mean, they probably have fractured style, so they might only go back on one way. So we'll just see what happens. So here's where we're at. There was no bearing on this anymore. It's just straight up rod cap. It's a fractured style because it's a newer engine, but yeah, no bearing is bad. That's why we had an 1/8 inch of piston play up and down, as you saw in the video. So we're gonna take these pistons out. There's 2 of them that are potentially bad, the 2 middle ones, so 2 and 3. We will update you as we go, but it's not looking good for this 4.5. Okay. Ain't great.
The side skirts, I mean, a little bit of scoring there,
But it's not bad.
but that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think the cam's fine.
That's where our problem's at right there. Couple of spun bearings. That's like really bad.
Couple, it might even be all of it.
Yeah.
No, I think the other 2 are fine.
These 2 of them.
You ready?
All right, yeah, go ahead and punch this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, hold on.
Ready?
Yeah. Here's the one that had an 8
Oh, this
inch.
one's a little more stuck and has a broken ring.
Oh, yeah.
More?
Yeah.
Yeah. There she goes.
Oh, that one's really tight.
I know.
It's like right there, but it's just
Found it.
there
you
she
go.
goes.
What do we got on this one? Same thing.
Same thing. A lot more, well, a little more scoring, but
Crispin okay? Yeah.
Crispin feels tight.
It's just the bearings.
Maybe those rings aren't broke, but no, actually,
Yeah.
rings look. Oh, that one's pinched,
Oh, yeah.
not moving.
What do you know?
You can see that bearing stuck on it.
It's the bearing stuck on the crank. That usually means it's spun. There's your crank. Here, shine a. You got a light out here? I can shine down. Here. Yep. That's a spun bearing. Right there. And right there. Yeah, no, that's ungood. He's got plenty. Alright, so this whole project's been moving a little fast. Been recording as I've had time during this project. So let me give you the basic rundown. Kind of a short version, but with as much information as I can kind of pack in so you guys can understand what's happening here and why this Hyster H190HD2 had to have the engine torn out of it. So as I just said, this is a Hyster H190, and for the machine that it is, it came up online for sale for a price you can't really get burned on. Long story short, for this machine, the plan is to basically just fix it up and put it up for sale. So this machine is for sale, and it will have a fully rebuilt Cummins QSB 4.5 in it. Now, the reason it had to be rebuilt and the full story behind it, we don't really know. The previous owners were the ones that were there when the breakdown happened. We don't know the full story as to what happened, but you can kind of piece something together. But I don't want to be the one that says, because I wasn't there. Nobody was. But anyway, the short story we were given was one day they were running the machine and it sputtered slowly and died out. Following that, they tried to ether it to get it running, which, by the way, on most newer diesels and most diesels in general, this is not a good idea to keep the machine running on ether for extended periods of time, or really at all. You should only use it in desperate situations, and maybe it was desperate to them, but unfortunately, I think that may have played a part in costing them an engine. So anyway, they ethered this thing, trying to get it going. It was running kind of on ether, but it wasn't sounding good. So they kind of threw in the towel, parked the machine, and decided to sell it as is. Now, when we brought it here, brought it into this building, we started looking into it. The ECM on that side of the machine, looking this way, was very loose. The ECMs on these are mounted on isolators, rubber isolators, to a bracket that also is mounted on rubber isolators bolted to the block. It was extremely loose. Like, the isolators were worn out, and when we pulled it off later, yeah, the isolators were wore out. Here's the bracket, and these were just kind of loose and shaking around, and the whole ECM kind of was sitting down, and you could grab it, and it was super loose. Now, I don't know if that's normal. Didn't seem like it was normal, especially because of what else we found, which was the ground strap attached to the block that grounds the ECM, which sits right here, was frayed to the point where on one side it had like maybe a handful of strands on the ground. It's a braided style ground strap holding on for dear life. On the other side, it wasn't much better either. Both sides were frayed to a degree that is not good. Not having current flowing through your ground, or at least having sort of a restriction of current flow through not enough strands, is not usually a good thing, especially when you have a bad ground like that, which wasn't grounding 100% of the time, by the way. Had a guy come out. He's a acquaintance of ours, known him for a while. Came out with a scan tool, plugged into this thing, and couldn't communicate with it, meaning the ECM was not powering on. Added a ground using a jumper wire later after he had left, and got the ECM to power on because it started sending codes up to the dashboard unit in the cab. Following that, we started cranking it some more, and it started making worse noises. Before, it didn't sound great. There's a little clip early on in the video of us cranking it, and you kind of hear a little bit of a gallop, which is, you know, cranking and then a low compression cylinder going, so you hear compression and then less compression out of a cylinder, so it kind of goes, you know, that kind of a sound. And then when the ECM powered on and started delivering fuel, which we could see by fuel smoke coming out of the after treatment system down there, that's when the engine started to sound worse, because it was trying to compress this fuel, and, well, it started to reveal something bad. We heard knocking, clanking, scraping, bad noises coming out of here, and it was decided pretty quickly that we needed to take some more parts off. First was the valve cover. Didn't see much. Took the head off, and that's when that clip you saw in the video, where we spun the engine until one of the pistons was up, spun it some more, and then he was able to push the piston down, meaning the bearings were basically gone. Taking the two middle pistons out revealed that both middle rod journals on the for cylinders 2 and 3 on the crank, both the bearings had spun in the middle, and they were wrecked. They were toast. So that pretty quickly turned into, well, we got to swing an engine in this thing. But we're going to rebuild it. The engine, the block itself is in pretty good shape. It's actually in really good shape. And everything else is available that we can find for it for a rebuild. So we are just going to put some pistons in it, new bearings, new crank, all that stuff. You probably could recondition the crank if you really wanted to. We aren't going to, because a crank we can source is a lot cheaper than having one custom machined down to like a 1/2 mil or whatever it requires. But yeah, so that's the basic rundown on this machine. Parts are ordered, they're on the way. We'll show you guys putting some of those in. I'll film what I can, and some of this I won't be able to film, obviously, but just wanted to give you guys this little bit of a long update just to kind of catch you up on what's going on with this forklift. So I'll see you guys as we go along. We're going to finish this thing up. It'll take a little while. Parts will take a little bit, but we'll finish this thing up and see what we can pick up with a 19,000 pound forklift such as this one.
Metal's not good.
Forgot to film putting these front two pistons in. Time lapse for you guys. Speed through this so we get as much done as possible. So we're gonna try and swing this engine in using the Manitou telehandler over there because it'll work good as a crane. It's got side shift and sliding forks, or hydraulic sliding forks, so it'll work good. We're gonna try and swing it up and over. I'll probably have to hold that hose up out of the way, and then yeah, we're just gonna kind of slide it down in here onto those two engine mounts, onto the transmission, put a couple bolts in there, put the bolts in there, and it should stay. Should be good. Just gonna have to pilot them here, so there won't be any filming when I let you guys go, and we're gonna get to it. Short update, so where we're at now, all the balancing bolts are in, motor mount bolts are in, nuts aren't on them yet, but we'll get there. Torque converter bolts are in. Just buttoning up a bunch of little boring stuff now, so update you as we go. All right, I got updates. Here's where we're at, folks. Starter's in. Bunch of other stuff's in. Alternator's on. Radiator hoses are on. All the like coolant pass and bypass hoses for to go down to the def stuff to keep it warm is on. The turbo drain's on. All these hose clamps and stuff are on. The CP3's feed lines, those are on. The dipstick is in it for now, but we don't have everything yet to do that. We're pretty much almost to a point where we need the head, and we're still waiting on a head gasket for this thing. So we'll get the head gasket in, we'll put it on, put the head on, torque it all down, slap it all together. Fan stuff, we still gotta do the fan stuff and a bunch of the front accessory stuff, like the AC compressor over there. Yeah. But yeah, we're chugging along, it's getting there. We're almost there. Just a bunch of little stuff. Oil filter, oil, do the transmission filter, upper radiator hose, all that good jazz, all that stuff once the head's on. So yeah, just waiting for the head so we can put the rest of this thing together. Quick update, a couple days later. Just got the after treatment in. Still waiting on a head gasket and some other parts to get the head thrown on. But yeah, if we get that stuff, we can finish this thing. Put all that, see all that wiring on that side there. All that can be plugged in. Got to plug the after treatment wires in and tubes and stuff and things together. But other than that, this thing will be ready to run pretty soon here once we get some oil put in there and whatnot. But stay tuned. We're almost there, folks. Get. Gonna level out once we.
You're good. You almost need to come up and then level some more. Huh?
Yeah. So we're almost there. We're hitting that. Yeah. There you go. Looks good. Yeah. Okay, needs to go towards transmission a little bit. We're down on the fan bracket. Are we good?
That's on that towel.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, it's
Might have to shimmy. There it goes.
the top, the back is on. The front needs to go your way.
Yeah, the front. There it goes.
Go forward.
All right, folks, it's in there and it's all together. Overhead's done, EGR's on, turbo's on, all that stuff on. Fuel is primed, has oil, has coolant of some kind. And yeah, we're ready to start cranking on this thing to try and prime the common rail. So here we go. Yeah, it sure does.
First it was like,
Well, it's probably the drag on that, all that stuff that's in there. Yeah, buddy.
I
that is going to do it for this episode of Northwest Exploration, guys. 2 spun bearings, a bad crank, you name it, waiting for parts. But 3.5 weeks later, here it sits, running, driving, operating. A minimal amount of labor required. Regardless, though, this thing wasn't that bad to work on, and getting parts for it was pretty easy, all things considered. Just a couple of hiccups in the process. Leave a like, leave a comment, let us know how we did. Let us know what you want to see in the future. That video I promised you about the International is still coming. You're just going to have to wait a little bit. Regardless of that, remember, you folks at home can do this too. You just got to set your mind to it. Get on Marketplace, get on Richie Bros, find something worth working on. See you in the next one.